Well, they did ask for the information in a subpoena months ago, but Trump didn't comply. As Trump family members are critiquing over and over the FBI, the New York Times says others in the GOP are taking a more measured approach, writing this. Some senior Republicans have been warned by allies of Mr. Trump not to continue to be aggressive in criticizing the Justice Department and the FBI over the matter, because it is possible that more damaging information related to the search will become public. So let's discuss. Mara Gay joins us. She is part of the New York Times editorial board and an MSNBC contributor. And Michael Steele, former chairman of the Republican National Committee and former lieutenant governor of Maryland. Let's start with the report that nuclear documents may be at the heart of all of this. I want to get both your reactions. Mara, let's start with you.
Well, it's obviously extremely alarming, to say the least. We have a lot more reporting that will be unfolding. I think it's very important that we wait for that reporting before we fully weigh in. But I do want to just say this is obviously a five-alarm fire. And I think it's extremely important that we talk about this for the threat to national security and democracy that it is, rather than casting it in a partisan view as though this is some spat between Democrats and Republicans. Obviously, that's not what we're doing here tonight, but I think that's the concern. This is about protecting American democracy, and we have a lot of questions tonight, including what was Donald Trump doing with those documents? He knew he wasn't supposed to have them. Why did he hold on to them even after there was a subpoena and the DOJ requested those documents? Did he share them with somebody who would have used them against the United States? And if not, why did it take, regardless, why did it take so long to retrieve them? So there are a lot of questions tonight, and none of them will help you sleep at night.
Michael?
Yeah, there are a lot of questions, and Trump will not be forthcoming with any answers, nor will the people, his minions around him, as you just showed in the clip coming in. They're either blindly ignorant, which probably in most cases they are, because Trump doesn't tell them everything he's doing. He feeds them just enough to have them go out and peddle the lies that he wants them to peddle. But more importantly, that inner circle, the chief of staff, the national security individuals who were in the administration the last few weeks of Trump's term, what were they saying? What did they know about this process? The way this operationalizes itself is very straightforward. If you've ever worked with Donald Trump or know anything about him, which I know you do, Stephanie, is people act because he wants them to act. He doesn't give a damn about process, protocol, or procedures. He wants something. I want these to go with me, Mr. President. You can't take these documents because of the Presidential Records Act. I don't know Presidential Records Act from presidential recordings. Give me what I want, right? And so you're beat down, you're beat up and put upon to the point where you just give in. He wears people down. The problem for them is that when the subpoena shows up, or when the FBI comes knocking at the door, then what do you do? And to Mara's point, the nation is at risk at all times in that process. We don't know who has access to those documents, just like we don't know what the conversation was when he was in there with the Russian foreign minister in the Oval Office without anyone recording or documenting that conversation. Maybe then the plot was hatched to turn over information that he got his hands on. People say, well, that's a wild thing to say. Well, I got a history here. And that's the problem that we face going into this whole conversation.
Well, Michael, while we don't know what is in any of those boxes, many have now been taken from Mar-a-Lago. I've only heard Republicans attacking the search. You talk to Republicans and Trump supporters every day. Have you spoken to anyone? Have you heard any voice who has explained why on earth Donald Trump would have any of these boxes to begin with?
No, they know he shouldn't have them. They absolutely knows he shouldn't have them, but they don't have a pair up between them to come out and to say that publicly, because they're all afraid of a guy who, anyway, the reality is this, Trump manipulates these situations. He creates the narratives that he wants to get out in front and have pushed. The important thing that happened today was the Justice Department has said, really? Okay, you want to play that? Here you go. Put up or shut up. And so now they're sitting now in their counsel. We saw the clip of their lawyer, him and Ahmed. I don't know. I haven't talked to how the hell do you not talk to your client, the President of the United States, who's not only been subpoenaed, but who has had FBI agents in his home, and you not know what he has and what they took? So this now becomes much more problematic because the Attorney General has said, we're not going to play games here because of the national security interest that the U.S. has to get these documents back from you.
Mara, we actually have seen some pushback today from right-wing media, and I want to share what Fox News host Steve Doocy said earlier today.
The FBI, with 35,000 members, now they apparently are receiving a lot of specific field agents are receiving specific death threats because there are a number of people online and elsewhere who are demonizing the FBI. Whatever happened to the Republican Party backing the blue?
Mara, how are Republicans squaring this behavior while insisting they're pro-law enforcement? They're all about law and order, national security.
Well, it's a great question. Of course, it's not about the crime for too many members of the right wing in America at this point. It's about who they see as the criminal and who they see as someone who can do no wrong. And clearly, in that case, this is Donald Trump. He's above the law. And in their view, I believe, and we have ample evidence and reporting to suggest this, that for some on the far right, Donald Trump's America is the real America. And these are people who are deeply enmeshed in conspiracy theories, in racism, in xenophobia often, and at this point, extremism, and believe truly, some of them, that they are saving the America they know by, unfortunately, it looks like increasingly engaging in violence against the United States of America as it actually exists. And we should be concerned.
Sorry. We should be. Michael, then if it does turn out that the former president had in his possession nuclear documents, does every Republican member of Congress need to be asked in public on the record? You okay with that?
Yep. 1,000 times over. Are you prepared to take responsibility for what happened here? Are you prepared to be a part of the congressional hearings to look into what happened to those documents? Because they weren't just sitting in a basement. And the reality of it is, yeah, this is on everybody's hand, not just the documents. And I don't want to blow past that clip with Mr. Doocy. That's a moment when Fox News is trying to, push back on Representative Scalise about, well, I thought you guys were about protecting the blue, but he didn't say it this way. But you could hear what he was saying. Your people who support this president, your president, Trump, are out here threatening FBI agents. So, yeah, not just the paper, but the actions of the people that they're allowing to perpetuate this noise in front of, and the people who are responding to it. All of this has to stop somewhere. The one thing that really tweaks me is the fact that somehow we seemingly want to hold everybody else accountable, but for the people who are accountable, who are doing the thing, who are the ones who are actually creating the ish. And so as a country and as citizens, I mean, it's one thing for the three of us to say something every night, night after night, trying to knock it into people's head. Hey, folks, look at what's happening to your ass, right? It's something very different. It's something very different when they recognize and begin to realize this is your moment to hold these people accountable. You can still love Donald Trump, baby. Invite him over for Thanksgiving dinner. But if he's done wrong, then you've got to hold him hold him accountable for the wrong he's done. And that's the part that I think a lot of Americans don't get with these folks is, how do you look past all of this?